All right, let's head back out to Chris Stirewalt. Chris, I appreciate you standing by. You heard of the vice president's remarks there, pretty much exactly what you outlined. Let's bring this bigger picture now. This is making headlines today. However, voters across the board, as you know, have noted the economy, immigration as the biggest issues impacting their decision come November. Obviously, a lot hinges on what happens between now and November 5th as it relates to the Middle East. But how big of a factor do you see this conflict being come Election Day?
So whatever the conflict, whatever the contours of any individual situation, what she was doing right there, what you just heard, was this is what it would be like if I was president, right? She was saying, if I was president of the United States, this is what it would sound like. When important things happened, when there was big news, when we did something, this is what it would be like. And you noted that she talked about taking credit for the United States involvement, the pride that she took in the United States being involved, talking about how hard we will go as a nation against any enemies, against any terrorists. There was no denunciation of Israel. There was nothing. We've watched Kamala Harris move a lot since she ran in 2018 or in 2019 when she started her 2020 run. This is, you could have no more stark an encapsulation of how Kamala Harris perceives herself and wishes to be perceived by the American electorate than those remarks she made right there. Stark and remarkable.
How do you believe those comments will be met by the protesters?
Well, they're not going to be happy. No, and one of the things that the protesters here have to realize that they have to come to terms with, which is their numbers are so small that eventually Democrats simply will just get tired of accommodating them. If you can move the mainstream electorate in Michigan, so we always talk about Michigan and the anger among the Arab American community in places like Dearborn, Michigan. We talk about that a lot, and we're talking about 10, 15,000 votes. How many Jewish voters? I'm in Nevada. How many Jewish voters are in Nevada? There are more Jewish voters in Pennsylvania, Nevada, New York, other key places that Democrats have to think about, too. And they also have to think generally that Americans, regardless of what they think about the individual conflict here, like the idea of the United States being strong, like the idea of the United States, the enemies of the United States being afraid of us. That's what she's tapping into there. And the anti-Israel protesters can go pound salt.
You know, we've seen more anti-Israel protests happen in months past. Do you believe the strategy we're going to see moving forward, Chris, is essentially the vice president ignoring this sector of the electorate?
Well, they made big promises about the Chicago convention. You remember that? I went out there. I was very nervous. What's going to happen in Chicago? How's it going to go down in Chicago? It was like 1,100 people standing under a bridge abutment, and they didn't disrupt the convention. They didn't do anything. And I'm not saying that they won't escalate more and more from here, but really they only hurt their own cause when they do it, because that's not how you communicate with the American people. You don't act that way and bring people to your side. I think Harris is making the right choice here because she doesn't want Donald Trump to label her as weak. And so she took the opportunity today to look not weak.
All right. Interesting analysis as always. Chris Stirewalt, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.